My name is Himnish Goel, and I welcome you all to the Everyday Consultants podcast show, where we talk about the uncertain trajectory it takes for stepping into the shoes of a consultant's mind, from adapting to constantly learn, do research, and develop their own theories, objectives, and opinions for advising businesses from their area of expertise to communicate the fine line between an SME and polymath. Thanks for taking the time to join me, and let's tune into today's episode of learning more about the psychological breakdown to not burn out your expertise of subject. So for today's topic, what we mostly tend to see in the consulting world is when deliverables are due for a certain client, whether they be in whatever industry, a lot of the times there is this push and pull race of the constant delivery of just keeping the clients at their peak of happiness. Because as consultants, our job is to give the analysis, the expert opinions, to kind of advise companies to grow. So a lot of the times that can go in a wrong direction where they don't understand the sort of difference of quantity versus quality of work. And so sometimes you might be given tasks that end up making you work longer hours, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, possibly 12 the next day, which is not good, but it's just sort of the consulting vision that they don't promote but expect folks to understand, because they're just an asset to the company to be additional workers so that they can get that project done faster than the bandwidth of employees that they currently have for that ABCD company. So that burnout level can sometimes go at a height where that expertise that you're currently good at, like for a particular subject, whether it be in cloud, AI, design, management, strategy, and all the other thousands of fields that are out there, it can sort of level that to an extreme where you tend to sort of hate it because of the burnout phase. A lot of the times people in cloud tend to face this, AI tend to face it, pretty much any major field. Because whenever there's a deployment period or there's a phase where there's a lot of delivery that needs to be executed, like a review process, or and when I mean review process, sort of going through a client's deliverable at pace. So review processes can range from anywhere, right? It can range from just cloud-wise to see where's the next step for the migrations, the review process of looking at the code to deploying that application to see if it's almost 50% ready, applying the AI algorithm to make sure it's ready to deliver at the pace of a market for that startup or enterprise. And in those times, or even a few weeks before that, is when that managing of work-life balance tends to hinder, because of that push and pull force where it's like, oh wait, no, we want you to do this, but then we also want you to do this. Then when you finish one thing, it's like the other thing doesn't get finished, and then you also have to worry about that deliverable and make sure you give it an honest state, because if you don't deliver it on that time, then that won't show good against you towards the team, and that also comes towards performance of you, and a blunder of thoughts come into play. So as consultants, the one thing that you can do appropriately is say your deadline for when you can approximately deliver it based on current work you have in your pile. Now, I'm not saying to not deliver in high capacity times. because it can feel as if it's impossible to get the client's work sort of performed. But if you look at it from a very strategic standpoint, if you put your work of order from greatest task to accomplish to least task to accomplish, it makes things a lot more smoother and gets the bigger rock done than the smaller rocks. Things like checking your email, seeing the updates on Teams, putting in your time and expense report, all those things are the last thing you can do, even the next day. And those are things that will be a reminder for you, because you will already know about it, because of the things that you have to do. And a lot of the times as new hires, we tend to get stuck on that matter of fact that we have to do those things before we perform that. But those are daily things. They're going to keep happening every single day. You're going to have to check them eventually, because that mailbox is going to pile up. So focus on eating that main frog, and that way it's not going to play with you. It's not going to play with your mind or brain psychologically to not perform the way you currently do, and make the team feel like he was performing well at this period of time, but now he just fell downwards. And a lot of the times that comes into the decision of maybe we should probably think about, offboarding him on the project, which there is no right or wrong answer for that, but you kind of have to go about finding your next project, and one that takes additional work, and second, you have to sort of explain yourself what happened in the previous project. And if they say performance, you have to word it correctly where it doesn't sound like your performance is impact, by playing smart with the words. So before even getting into that mess, you sort of level your work where it doesn't feel like burnout levels are extreme on personal end of things or professional end of things. Because it's like that seesaw where wherever you tilt, you have to bring it up eventually, because people can take it for a day or 2 or 3, max of 4, a max a week. After that, they're gonna want to know what's going on. So keep your expertise subject at level, keep your burnout levels lower, and don't let the psychological breakdown be at your higher peak. So hopefully for folks that are looking to get in the consulting world, or ones that are currently in the consulting environment, found this episode helpful. And this is something that I've sort of seen on my current project and on other projects that I've heard from other folks, like, as you could say, user feedback. And I thought this was an important message to kind of like convey through an episode of Everyday Consultants. And hopefully you found this episode in a way of educating yourself of what to expect from the consulting world. And be sure to share this podcast for anyone that you find that could use great help from this. And till the next time, keep striving, keep learning, keep growing, keep on putting that consultant's hat on to expand the vision of what you see of enterprise growth. And until then, see you in the next episode of Everyday Consultants, and can't wait to talk about another engaging topic. See ya. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and also leave a review of how much you enjoyed listening to Everyday Consultants. While you're at it, be sure to provide any feedback you might have on my LinkedIn posts in the comments below. And if you know of a friend who's curious about learning quick bites of information regarding the life of a consultant, then be sure to recommend my show to them, or anyone that you think might benefit from listening to it. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Reddit, and Twitter by searching my name on the platform. If you're interested in looking at some of my other professional content that is currently in the works, then in that case, you can take a look at my Linktree portfolio that can be found below in the description or show notes of this episode. Don't forget to tune in to listening to all episodes of Everyday Consultants and wherever you're able to find your local podcast. Until next time, stay broad, be curious, and be passionate about listening to a conversation where knowledgeable advice gets provided about the world of consulting, about a consultant in our next episode. Peace out.